Welcome in. It is week 9 of college football. My voice sounds terrible, but who knows? It is what it is. Welcome into the Merrifield Sportsbook Show. It is, of course, the normal crew as always. It's Matt, it's Jay, it's Jay Walsh, and of course myself, Nick Burt. Matt Merrifield, how are we doing today? I don't know what to ask you other than that because I'm just fried.
It's okay. I decided to change things up. It's been 3 straight weeks below 500, or 500 or worse, I should say, because I went 3-3 last week. So I decided to change it up. I was the first one into the room this week. I'm ready to roll. We're here early. The picks were made just as early as they normally are during the week, but we showed up. We're waiting on Jay Walsh. The script is flipped. One of us 3-putted on Pinehurst this week, and it wasn't me, so I'm feeling good. Let's get into it. I can't wait to talk some rivalry football and explain to people why they're bad fans. But anyways, go college football.
Jay Coster, vibe check in Chicago after that massive exhibition game on Sunday.
I mean, you sent me the tweet earlier that DePaul's like plus what was it, 30,000 or something like that?
I believe so. Yes.
I mean, I don't know what the home opener is soon approaching, so I don't know. I mean, we got Bulls basketball destroying the Pistons right now, and the Bears are 4-2. I don't MSU football. I don't. We'll talk. I just don't. The vibes are just tremendously low. I don't know, so we'll talk about it.
Jay Walsh, wasn't sure if you were going to make it back for this one. Obviously, Pinehurst this week. How was that? As you're looking frozen right now, so I may be just talking into a void. But if you're not frozen, please enlighten us.
If necessary, I can fill in the blanks for him. Well, all right. If I was Jay Walsh, I would probably say I 3-putted 4 times. I got the yips trying to chip. It was like trying to hit out a cabbage. Best 112 of my life. I'm trying to think. What else, Jay? What other
sick invite, by the way.
Yeah, it's great. Exactly. Also going back to the Merrifield mode.
You got to play the US.
There he goes.
You got to play the course that Bryson beat Rory in. Rory's epic collapse. I wonder how many times he had like a nice iron, like a nice 8-iron, and then it just roll off the green. He was just pissed at himself.
How many top flights did he lose?
No, he doesn't even need the Titleist. He's bringing the top flights. There he is.
This guy probably plays Kirkland's signature anyway.
Yeah,
so.
He's probably using a Kirkland or a top flight. No Titleist needed for this man.
Jay Walsh, would you like to enlighten us here?
As for the golf ball I was playing, I was in fact playing a Strixon Z-Star XV because it was a Strixon sponsored event. So I felt like I should, rep the brand. I assure you, Kirkland's signature does not grace my golf bag. I will let you know that right now. But Pinehurst was fantastic. Absolutely lives up to the hype. If you ever get the chance, 100% worth the while to do it. The entire experience is fantastic. Every facility they have there, every course. Shout out my boy Tony, the caddy, absolute goat, knows the course like the back of his hand. Just a phenomenal experience. But you know what? That's in the past. We're ready to talk college football, so let's get into it.
A couple questions, Jay Walsh. All right. Question number 1. Was it the best 112 of your life?
No, because obviously, only an absolutely terrible golfer would dare put up those numbers at a course like that. I struggled my way through a little bit, didn't play my best. I shot a not very respectable 90 at number 2, was not very happy with that. And then I shot 85 at number 10. Felt a little bit better, but I did have 3 birdies on number 2. So number 2 is definitely the thing I said. Yes.
You had 3 birdies and still shot a 90.
Yes. There are definitely scoring opportunities on number 2, but there are a lot of opportunities for you to blow up as I learned. So
A lot of snowmen in October in Pinehurst, apparently, Jay.
It really, I didn't have a single 8. It was just a lot of 6s and 7s.
I'm looking at Jay Walsh's 18 birdies right now, and what a scorecard!
Am I lying? Mr.
Yeah.
DeCoster?
No, you're not. Hey, you birdied 8 and 9. Good for you.
What a way to go into the turn. Get a nice hot dog, come out and
yeah, exactly.
I had no pars at that point, but I had back-to-back birdies on 8 and 9.
Other question. Is it more, because I've never played with a caddy, is it more embarrassing when you duff a chip or I literally do anything bad when there's somebody watching you that you don't know, but they're paid to be there and help you?
A little bit, yes. And I will tell you, the round started off rough. I was very nervous because A, obviously I was playing Pinehurst number 2, and B, I was there for a kind of business sponsored event. So like I was playing with pretty semi-important people. I did not hit a solidly hit golf shot for the first 5 holes, and I wanted to kill myself the entire time. So, I had to struggle through that. It was definitely a little embarrassing at the start, but as Mr. DeCoster can attest by looking at my 18 birdies, I got hot there in the middle. So I definitely redeemed myself a little bit before kind of falling apart down the stretch. But overall, it was a fantastic experience.
Absolutely incredible. Great stories to hear. Jay Walsh, you might as well just unmute your mic again because this is your time. It is time for the first edition of the Jay Walsh rankings.
Oh, good Lord.
Yes, and it is what I am absolutely sure will be a completely non-controversial edition of the rankings. And before we get into it, I want to let anyone know watching, 2 of the members of this committee, Mr. DeCoster and Mr. Merrifield, to my knowledge, unless Nick has shared it, I don't believe they've seen these rankings yet. So you are going to see live reactions to these picks, and I am willing to bet there are going to be some interesting reactions. But without further ado, let's get into it. We will start with the top group of 5 team, or at least Nick Burt. That's correct. That's where we're starting. Group of 5.
Yes and no. So
Gotcha.
It is going to be your top group of 5 through number 13 here.
Perfect. Top group of 5. Feel like this is not a controversial pick at all. It's South Florida. They've earned the right to be that. Bottom 3 teams in the rankings starting at 15. We got Virginia, Vanderbilt, Texas Tech. Obviously, Vanderbilt ranked a little bit higher. Okay, I see Mr. Merrifield is already reacting. Just you wait, buddy. There are going to be some picks in here that you are not going to like. But obviously, Vanderbilt ranked a little bit higher in the ESPN rankings. But, I don't feel like they deserve to be that high. So we'll go ahead and move on. Number 12 coming in, we have Oklahoma and then Missouri. We have the mighty Oregon Ducks coming in at the number 10 spot. And then BYU coming in at number 9. And I can already tell Mr. Merrifield is not going to be happy with that selection as well. Obviously, Oregon ranked lower here than they are in the AP poll. The way I look at it is I can't necessarily knock them for Penn State falling apart, but aside from that, they don't really have any high-quality wins on the schedule. And the fact that it was a double overtime win against Penn State, I know it was at Penn State in a whiteout, double overtime against a very mediocre Penn State team that fired its coach 3 weeks earlier. That's not looking ideal right now. But you know what? We're gonna keep moving on. So coming in at the number 8 spot, we have Georgia Tech, we have Miami, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M rounding out the spot at number 5. Again, so a lot of what goes into the Jay Walsh rankings is both a combination of kind of eye test, but a lot of it has to do with resume. What have you done throughout the season? So keep that in mind as these rankings unfold. We will get into the number 4 spot. you have Georgia. Had to rank number 4 and number 3 might be a little controversial, ranked over Texas A&M, but they both have the resume to definitely justify it in my mind. Texas A&M, obviously the undefeated season so far, but they really haven't beaten any great teams yet. Whereas number 4, Georgia, obviously has some great wins, as does number 3, Alabama. A number of great wins, obviously beating Georgia, but they've rattled off several good wins in a row. Obviously, that early season loss to Florida State hurt them, but they have been rolling since then. Number 2, we have the Ohio State Buckeyes coming in at the number 2 spot. They are the consensus number 1 in the AP poll as Matt leaves. Ohio State is the consensus number 1 in the AP poll, earning the vast majority of the votes. But realistically, they do not have the resume to back it up compared to the number 1 team, who has absolutely earned the right to call themselves the number 1 team in the country, the Indiana Hoosiers.
God damn it.
They have absolutely earned the right. If you're looking based on record, if you're looking based off of eye test, if you're looking based off of have they earned it with their strength of schedule, they are by far the team that has passed with flying colors. They absolutely deserve the number 1 spot in the rankings. But I will go ahead and open up the floor to what I'm sure is going to be just thunderous applause and complete and utter confirmation of agreement.
Jay, go ahead, because I'm going to give you the floor first.
Okay. Well, I mean, the reason why you left, Ohio State should be 1. I mean, Indiana's damn good. They're going to be fighting for a top 4 seed here, but I don't like to take out Ohio State. For them being undefeated, they should remain number 1. They are the best team in the country, and if you're looking at last year when Ohio State dismantled Indiana, I don't remember if they played each other this year, but I think Ohio State would be like a 14, would be like an 11-10 point favorite in that game. If it's at the Shoe, if it's at Indiana, it'd be like Ohio State minus 7 or 8.5. Ohio State's just a way better roster. It's a way better team, in my opinion. Fernando Mendoza is great, but I would take Ohio State in that spot. And BYU, I think, is way too high. I think Matt would agree. BYU's really played nobody. I know that the Utah win was fine, but like they've really played nobody, and they've kind of escaped by thinnest of margins, and they got a tough schedule coming up. I think BYU is a little too high. I would bump up Vandy a little bit. Vandy's proven that the win against LSU, they should be bumped up a little bit more. So other than that, not too bad. I like A&M at that spot. I like Georgia at that spot. So yeah, not pretty solid, except for I'm sure what Matt's about to say.
It's not terrible. I'm just going to lead with that. If you can't cover against the human version of a whoopee cushion, you do not deserve to be the number 1 team in the country. I'm just saying. But besides the point, Indiana, Ohio State 1 and 2. They are the 1 and 2 best team based on what I've seen so far. Going down from there, I think Ole Miss should be ahead of A&M. A&M since that Notre Dame game, which that Notre Dame is very good. I think Notre Dame should be on this list, in my opinion. But A&M has played Florida, Texas, or they played Florida, Mississippi State. They played the bottom of the SEC, Arkansas. They played close. I mean, they haven't done anything bad. I still think they're a top 6-7 team. But in my opinion, Ole Miss still, damn it. I think Ole Miss looked really good this last weekend, even though they weren't able to hold on. And I'm an Ole Miss guy. Trinidad Chambliss proved that he was the dude this weekend. Miami's fine. Georgia Tech's fine. I would put Oregon ahead of BYU, but I have stopped hating on BYU completely. They're a tough team. I will give them that. I still don't think Bear Bachmeier is any good. But BYU is a tough team. They deserve a top 10 ranking. Missouri's dog shit. Missouri is a fraud. Your 11 through 15 looks like the bottom of a porta potty. I'm like, dude, Missouri shit. And part of it's not your fault. Part of it's college football kind of stinks outside the top 10. There's a lot of bad teams just kind of lingering around. Missouri sucks. Oklahoma, I do think is good. I think Oklahoma should be 11. Texas Tech is good. They should be 12. After that, Vanderbilt maybe 13, but Virginia's won 3 straight games by 1 score against Florida State, who we now have found out sucks again. Washington State, who sucks. And who's the other team Virginia beat? It was another bad ACC team. It was, Louisville's fine in a game that Louisville should have won. Louisville outplayed Virginia in that game. I still can't believe Virginia found a way to win. Virginia lost to NC State. They're a bad football team. They're not a very good football team, I should say. Teams I would rank ahead of Missouri and Virginia, I'd go Notre Dame. Notre Dame should be in the top 15. I think they're a top 15 team in the country. They've proven that. They have the 2 best losses in the country. And then Tennessee, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I get it's hard. I think Tennessee's fine. Obviously, they clearly are not as good as Georgia or Alabama the way last week went in their other loss. But I don't know. Part of it, I don't disagree. There's a lot of bad teams, a lot of fraudulent football teams just kind of hanging out around. But it's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, I think you were expecting Indiana to be the worst. Me leaving was more theatrical than I think. It's not that bad. I see the argument. Going into Eugene, big deal. Virginia being ranked is a hate crime against college football. They are not a top 15 team. Not even with all due respect, they are not. I don't respect Virginia. I have no respect for Virginia football. Missouri being 11, also a crime. But it's fine.
So just a quick thing here. I 100% agree with you. It was incredibly tough to get the right side of this list this year. 1-8 was fairly easy for me. I mean, we can argue, but you really many teams that are missing from that side of the list that really much of an argument. The other side was tough to write down. I did think about putting in like a Notre Dame with 2 losses. I don't see that they necessarily have the strong record to get on there with.
I'm gonna start getting it. I'm gonna go get a flag off Amazon. Just start throwing it anytime just random shit happens.
Wow.
Or no, a red. No, you got to get the red card.
Yellow and red.
Yeah.
He can't hear us, but I would love to know his reasoning for why Missouri is ranked as high as they are, because they're like they lost close to Alabama. Is that what gets them number 11? Like they went to double overtime against an Auburn team who can't throw the football, even if they tried. But whatever. They didn't cover against UMass, who we've discussed at length. It's bad.
Look at that. Double J Walsh.
Double order.
Onions.
Beautiful. But yeah, realistically, I mean, the right side of this list was very difficult to make. Just not, as you said, Matt, outside of the top like 10 teams, it's really hard to kind of separate. There are a lot of teams that you can make arguments for. I had a hard time justifying any of the 2 or 3 lost teams over the teams that we included here. So I felt like this was a decent start to the rankings. I knew it was going to be a little controversial. I'm standing pat with Indiana deserves to be number 1 based off of their schedule so far. So you can say Ohio State's the reigning champions all you want. I can't deny that, but Indiana deserves the right to call themselves the number 1 team in the country.
My only other question, which goes back to the right side of the list. In my opinion, there's a top 13. I think, like I said, Virginia and Missouri have no business being on this list. What gave Missouri the right to be 11? Like not only be in the top 15, but even to put them over a team like Oklahoma or Texas Tech or Vanderbilt.
So I will admit I mean, I'm not going to say I'm biased because I don't like the SEC at all, but I had Missouri as a sleeper team in the SEC this year. Their over under win total was 6.5. I knew that was ridiculous. I knew they were a better team than that going into this year. They do have, I mean, their one loss was a 3-point loss to Alabama, who's number 3 on this list. So they have a very good loss on their schedule. Obviously, I mean, they don't have really any signature win yet. Obviously, I mean, they played a game against Auburn last week that went to double overtime. Auburn isn't terrible, but they're certainly not a signature win. So I can't necessarily, I mean, obviously I'm not considering them any higher on the list, but realistically, the fact that their one loss of the season was a 3-point loss to who I believe is one of the top 3 to 4 teams in the country, that definitely helped them out a lot.
My only argument would just be that I would argue that Oklahoma Tech and Vanderbilt have a better win already to this point, but Missouri will play themselves out of the top 12, so I'll let it go. There's a lot of football left to be played.
Yes.
Let's gamble, shall we?
Matt, you are just on the ball tonight. Let's get into it.
Going 6-0 this week, Nick.
I hope so. Let's get into it. First game on the board. It is Ole Miss traveling to Norman to take on Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a 4.5-point favorite here. The over-under is 54.5. Matt, we'll just go to you first here. This is what feels to me, at least, is the game of the week. Your thoughts here on this one? What we potentially might see from this Ole Miss team coming off their first loss of the year, first road loss. Also, it was their first real road test too. So, back-to-back road games should be interesting to see from Ole Miss.
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, I didn't watch any of Oklahoma last week, so I have no idea what the health of John Mateer looks like. Obviously, I know what happened against Texas. Not great, but I think this week he looked better. Obviously, it was a nice win they picked up last week. So, in my opinion, this might be the quarterback matchup of the year. The quarterback matchup I would enjoy watching of the year because I love Trinidad Chambliss, and what he showed me last week against Georgia was nothing short of spectacular. Although the team came up short. So, in my opinion, I want to take Ole Miss. I'm a huge Ole Miss guy. I love Lane Kiffin. I think he's having fun this year. It's like the Bo Nix being a dark horse for the Heisman. Mick, he's having fun. This is the year. Lane Kiffin gets it done in the SEC. Probably not, to be completely honest. Mike Merrifield rule. As much as I want to take Ole Miss, some places you see Ole Miss is up to being favored by 5.5. You still have to take the Sooners here, and that's what I'm going to do. Even though I don't like it, and I did not pick this game for my 6 picks this week because I just can't bring myself to bet against Ole Miss. They're going to fall victim to the Mike Merrifield rule for the 2nd week in a row, and this team doesn't deserve that. But yet here we are. So I'm excited for this game. I'm glad it's a noon kick, and I know game day can't go back because they were already in Norman once this year. But strap in and watch some good quarterback play. We don't get a lot of it in college football this year, so this is one you should very much don't take for granted.
Jay Walsh will go to you next here. Like Matt said, this feels like one of the better QB matchups of the year. Obviously, Mateer looks like he's getting closer to 100%, but still there are those moments where it still looks like obviously he's recovering. You think that plays a bigger factor this week against a good team like Ole Miss?
I mean, I think there's no question that his health is the defining factor of this game. Because I mean, when I looked at this week's schedule and I saw this game, my eyes lit up. Both in terms of just purely this is going to be a great game to watch, and I love Oklahoma in this spot. I mean, even before I saw the line and saw that it was a Mike Merrifield special, I absolutely loved Oklahoma in this spot. I was going to take them even if Ole Miss was favored in this game, but I love them even more now that they're favored. And I believe, unless I'm mistaken, I thought I looked earlier and I saw that going with a strategy that Mr. Merrifield over here likes to employ, the public likes Ole Miss in this game. I believe I did see that.
Yes, and the line is moving still in favor of Ole Miss, which is a bad sign for Ole Miss. Reverse line movement means to take Oklahoma.
Yeah. So everything about this matchup tells me Oklahoma. Obviously, I mean, like we said, the health of John Mateer is the biggest part of this game, but I think he is, as you said, getting closer to 100%. I think he'll be ready to go by game time. This is going to be a great game to watch, but I do like Oklahoma -4.5 here. This is actually part of my parlay. I put this game in my parlay. That's how much I like it. In terms of the over-under, I think the over here is a very solid play. I think both of these teams are very capable of putting up points. Like we said, this is a great quarterback matchup. I think this one could easily end up being kind of a low to mid 30s each type game. So I do like Oklahoma with the points here, and I like the over in this spot as well.
Jay, we'll go to you next here. This is basically what feels like an elimination game, at least for the SEC championship here.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like you guys said, this is a great quarterback matchup. I think, like Matt said, enjoy it because we've gotten some pretty dog shit quarterback play this year, especially out of the SEC. Lenore Sellers it's not really all his fault. He's been injured a lot. You got Arch Manning who's been underperforming. You got some other guys in there that just haven't really lived up to the hype. The LSU offense hasn't really been that impressive either. That's a part to Garrett Nussmeier. That's just part to the whole LSU offense. So a lot of underwhelming quarterback play out of the SEC. So enjoy this because who would have thought Trinidad Chambliss would be the one that, outside Ty Simpson, has been a very good quarterback in the SEC this year. So, I mean, and the Mateer as well. So, yeah, I'll take Oklahoma as well. I think it's just a spot for Ole Miss that, I mean, yeah, they fought hard in that game last week. I mean, they were up. I think they were up like by 7.5, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, they're more than capable of winning this game. But Oklahoma is just in a spot where you're at home. It's a big top 15 matchup. I like Oklahoma in the spot, and I think it could be another statement game for John Mateer. Since he came back from his injury that kept him on the shelf for about a month. So yeah, give me the Sooners.
Don't have much to add here. Just Mike Merrifield rule. Give me Oklahoma. Simplest way to put it. Keep it easy. Let's move on.
Don't love that we're a clean sweep in favor of Oklahoma here.
Yeah, it's not great, but here we are anyways. Big Ten Saturday night, Matt Merrifield's favorite intro for college football. It is
Who's banging the drum?
Saturday night.
Who's banging the drum?
Who fucking cares? Hopefully Jay
stupid drum. They do.
Yeah, I know. Have they done it recently? I know they did like the first 2 weeks of the season. Like I haven't seen them do it since I said Draymond and Mateen would do it.
Who gives a damn anyway about that? I know Eagle and Blackledge are good, but like,
are there going to be enough people inside the stadium to actually bang the drum for Michigan State?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. It is Michigan versus Michigan State. Michigan is a 14.5-point favorite going into Spartan Stadium. The over-under, I have it on the sheet as 48.5, which would make a fourth, but it is it's a half. Jay Walsh, we'll go to you first. I don't know what you want me to say here. Just yeah.
This is anyone outside of the Michigan or Michigan State fandom that's watching this game needs to get their priorities straight. This is not going to be an enjoyable game to watch. I know rivalries are the lifeblood of college football. It's what makes college football great, but this is just going to be an absolutely disgusting game to watch. Not to mention there will probably inevitably be at least one fight that comes out of this game. This is just I'm going to take Michigan State to cover just simply because this game is almost always closer than it should be, no matter who the better team is. Obviously, there have been some blowouts in recent years, mostly coming from the Michigan end. But frankly, I don't think this Michigan team is that good. I really don't. So I think that Michigan State can definitely cover this 14.5-point spread. I don't know that I'm going to pick them to win it outright, but I definitely think they cover. The over-under is definitely a little bit tough because obviously, I mean, we've seen Michigan State kind of has the tough look when picking an over-under of a bad defense and a bad offense, which makes over-unders very difficult to pick. I don't think that this Michigan defense is as good as they have been in years past, and I do think that their offense is capable of putting up points. Bryce Underwood has looked decent. He's looked fairly solid as the starting quarterback this year, so I'm going to lean the over here. I don't love it, but like I said, I'm going with Michigan State plus the 14.5 here, but like I said, anyone who's not a fan of one of these two teams, don't watch this game. Please just find something else to do.
Jade Coster, will you be finding something else to do come 7:30 on Saturday night?
Well, I am a Michigan State fan. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I watched the first quarter of the Indiana game and I turned it off. I did not want to watch it. I just didn't care. But I will be watching. Unfortunately, I need to get some plans or something. Just go out and do something. I mean, I don't know. Maybe find an MSU establishment. I don't know. Who knows? But I don't know. I think for this game, like Michigan's they're not great. MSU's horrible. What I take away is from this is kind of big picture that Jonathan Smith still does not understand the rivalry. He didn't understand it last year. He still doesn't understand it this year. This is a guy that's coming from Oregon State that's comparing it to Oregon, which is the Civil War. It's completely different. This is Midwest. This is two schools that absolutely hate each other. It's just a completely different ballpark. So I'm going to be the pessimist in this group. I'm going to take Michigan. This Michigan State team is just so bad. I mean, the defense, Bryce Underwood's going to get so much time to throw. Michigan's offensive line is pretty good, and against this forbidden, just awful pass rush, it's going to be a lot of time for him to throw. So I'm gonna lay the points of Michigan here. I probably take the over. I think Aiden Childs could still make some plays here on this offense, but I just the hope isn't there. Like, I think, with Sherrone Moore and those guys, I feel like they'd be more. I think they're more fired up for this game, if that makes any sense. I just don't trust the coaching staff, and I'm probably going to take Michigan here.
Matt, I know you have some things to say here, so I will just leave the floor to you here.
Well, I guess before I actually make a pick to any of those people, Jay, this wasn't just started by our good friend Nathan Stearns bringing it up. In terms of, are you a bad fan if you're hoping that State gets blown out this weekend in the hopes that Jonathan Smith gets fired? Yes, you are a bad fan if you're hoping Michigan State loses. You are not a fan, actually, not even a bad fan. You're just not a fan. But with all due respect, you can be as critical of your football team as you want to be, but when the team kicks off on Saturday afternoon, it doesn't matter who they're playing, you should want your team to win. Sure, when they lose, yeah, who cares? Our team sucks, and this needs to be fixed. But when the game's actually being played, I got in this argument with my father last weekend because if you watch the first 10 minutes, I watched a little bit of the first quarter. I watched State's first two drives, and I was like, wow, they're actually playing half decent, at least on the offensive side of the ball. They had a holding penalty in the red zone, and they still found a way to score a touchdown. I couldn't tell you the last time a Michigan State team did that. So I was like, hey, there's some good things. We still suck. I turned that off once Indiana went back down the field and scored, and it went from there. But point being, if you're rooting for your rival of all teams to come in and beat your ass so that way your coach gets fired, you're not a fan. That's no. I don't even want to entertain that thought. You can ruin Michigan's season with a win tomorrow on Saturday night. That'd be fun. That right there would make the season. And also, if Jonathan Smith's job is tied to Saturday night, our program has bigger problems. Either A, he should already be fired, and A, he's already going to be fired regardless of the outcome, which is a good thing, or B, this game actually matters for his job, why the staff, the athletic program hasn't already made a decision, already isn't trending towards a decision. That would be a bad sign. So I just needed to say that because I'm tired of people out there. There are plenty of people nationally. There are certain radio personalities rooting for Michigan. You're not a fan if you're saying that, respectfully. But anyways, back to the game. I don't know. I'm still jaded from last year when State should have won that football game. I'm looking back at the box score, and Michigan State dominated time of possession. They outplayed Michigan on both sides of the ball for most of the game. Michigan didn't have a single flag thrown against them, if I'm not mistaken, last year. They didn't turn the ball over any time. They had 0 turnovers, and they didn't have a single flag thrown against them like the Chiefs 2 weeks ago. So the Lizard people wanted Michigan to win last year. I'm going to say State +4, but north of 14, I have to take Michigan State. Like, I think they keep it within 2 touchdowns. I don't think Michigan's got the horses. You're taking a true freshman on the road. I got to believe there's some sort of fight. State looked like they were moving in the right direction last week, and Indiana's the number 1 team in the country, as Jay Walsh pointed out. So you kept it within 25. Also, Michigan's a roller coaster, and they've literally gone every other week up and down. This is a down week. This is a scheduled down week. So I guess you'd think it wouldn't happen against Michigan State, but then again, Bryce Underwood has been fine. I'm going to take Michigan State plus the 14.5. I don't feel good about it. I would take the under, regardless, because either Michigan State won't be able to move the ball and Michigan ain't scoring 48 points by themselves, or it's going to be a rock fight, 21-17, 24-20 final. So give me Michigan State in the under.
Michigan is, I believe, if I'm correct, 0-2 on the road this year. That sounds about right. I know they lost to USC and Oklahoma. I can't remember if they played any other road games.
They won at Nebraska by 3.
I forgot about Nebraska. I knew I was forgetting. Okay, so they are 1-2. They'll most likely be 2-2 by the end of this week, but it's two touchdowns. I think Michigan State can keep it within that, and they will probably lose the most disgusting 13-10 game that you've ever watched. Like Matt said, Bryce Underwood, he's fine. He's not, the second coming of Christ. He can't throw a ball 100 yards. He can't throw it through space. He's not Joe Milton. Let's be honest here. He's just not Joe Milton. But Michigan's got to find a way, or Michigan State, I should say, has got to find a way to at least keep it within the number. If you don't keep it within the number at home against your biggest rival, it's just, let's just not even play November. Like, what's the point? It's as simple as that. So,
I would say maybe this is just the eternal optimist in me in terms of just absolutely hating Michigan. State's offense looked half decent last weekend. Honestly, Aiden Childs looked like he did weeks 2 through 4. He absolutely looked okay. And I mean, the offensive line's dog shit, but like Michigan's defense isn't very good, especially their secondary. Like I could truly see this being similar to the 2020 game where Michigan and Michigan State are both not very good. But hey, truly, you never know. If the offensive line decides to play with their big boy pants on, that flips everything. That could happen. It couldn't happen. We don't know until the game starts on Saturday night. So I'm not going to sit here and act like it's going to happen because all intents and purposes, it probably won't. But in terms of State's got the weapons on the outside, Nick Marsh is I don't think any of Michigan's corners can match up against Nick Marsh. So from that standpoint, you're giving me Michigan State with a quarterback who can move the ball more effectively than Rocky Lombardi, with a multiple wide receivers who are better than Ricky White. Running back room is not very good. Who cares? And then on the other side of the ball, I don't trust Michigan. I don't know if I trust State's defense enough, though, unfortunately. Who knows? That's the one sticking point. State's defense has looked horrible, and it's just not good. So if State for once shows up in the trenches, I think they can win. But I feel like that's asking a lot. I don't love it, but I wouldn't be shocked, I guess, is all I'm going to say. And that's the last thing I have to say. Hopefully this is the last time we talk about Michigan State this year. Nick, I told you before the show started, this is the last time you're allowed to put them on the sheet. I don't want them anywhere near a sheet the rest of the year. They don't play a matchup worth talking about. So let's move on to more fun things.
We'll see about that when they're playing Penn State in a few weeks and they end up on the dumpster dive.
Hey, the winner of that game will play in the Gimbo Sports Bowl.
I doubt
Unironically.
Doubtful. Let's get into that dumpster dive. Matt, I'll go with you first. What's your dumpster dive for this week?
You know what? I don't have a good one for this week, but I feel like this team and this trend needs to be talked about on this podcast, how it hasn't been brought up before. Out in Maction country, shout out 2 weeks still, November Maction. Can't wait. But Eddie George and the Bowling Green State Falcons. Pudge the cat. I don't even like cats, but they're laying 7 at Kent State. I believe it's a rivalry game. Bowling Green's got this vibe to them. They're not that good. They're 3-4. But hey, you know what? Eddie George. Kent State already hit their over win total for the year at 1.5. They already got their second win, so they don't care. Give me Bowling Green to cover a touchdown on the road at Kent State. I'm gonna go do some research about that rivalry game. I'm assuming it's a rivalry, but
Wow. Jay Walsh, you're up next here. Dumpster dive for the week.
Before I get into my dumpster dive, Matt, I just want to let you know, as somebody who just drove by Bowling Green twice, they have a billboard up just outside of campus. You can sit. The football stadium is inside of the billboard, and the billboard simply says, "Come see Eddie George," and then BGSU at the bottom. So they are all the way leaning in. They don't care about anything else. They want you to know he is there.
my favorite part about Bowling Green is the fact that it's literally right off of I-75. Like, there is nothing, and then you just see the entire campus. When you're driving south, just take a look on your right. You have Bowling Green State, and quite literally there it is. And it's the only sort of elevation to the ground for the next 100 miles, and it's beautiful, and I love it. Go Falcons, hockey school.
Absolutely. Anyway, we'll get into my dumpster dive. Previous weeks, I believe I've gone early in the week, both or just about every time. I believe most of them have been Friday nights. We're gonna change it up a little bit. We're gonna go Saturday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern kickoff. We are going to the Mountain West. We are going Colorado State at Wyoming. Neither of these teams are very good. Both of them have losing records. I think Colorado State is 2-5. I want to say Wyoming is 3-4, something like that. Wyoming is favored by 4.5 at home here. I like Wyoming in the spot. Colorado State is a really bad football team. They just beat Fresno State not too long ago, but they are really bad. I know Wyoming isn't very good either, but this is what dumpster dives are made for. Yes, Matt, I can tell you want to say something.
I just want to point something out. Colorado State recently fired their head coach. The new coach bump is real in college football. Nick, were you the one that sent me the stat this week?
You sent it to me.
Oh. New coaches are like 8-1 outright this year. So I'm just throwing that out there. Now keep in mind, and we lost him. Well, this is for Jay, I guess. Jay, I don't know if you saw, but our Lord and Savior, speaking of 2020 Michigan State, Jay Johnson was just let go of his duties, or is no longer the play caller. I don't know if he's still on the staff at Wyoming, but
oh yeah, I did see. I feel so sorry for him.
So that's some big sky terrorism for you, Jay Johnson football. But so I don't know which team gets the better bump. But I don't know which team gets the better bump. Jay Walsh isn't going to hear any of this, so.
All right.
Side profile.
Jay, just go ahead.
I'll make my pick. I'm looking at Georgia Southern and Arkansas State here. Both teams are 3-4, little Sun Belt action. Give me the Fighting Butch Joneses. Shout out our other NCAA dynasty. Give me the Fighting Butch Joneses in Arkansas State -1.5, and a little Fun Belt action starting at 7 Eastern down in I don't even know where they play. What part of Arkansas do they play, Nick?
Jonesboro.
Yes, Jonesboro. Give me Arkansas State -1.5 over Georgia Southern. Shout out Clay Helton. So that's my Fun Belt pick. Dumpster dive Fun Belt.
All right. Matt, you took my pick of Bowling Green, so I got to go to my backup. And you know where that's taken me. Let's go down to Houston, Texas. Give me UConn -10.5 against Rice. Dogs eat food. My dog loves rice. Shout out Ivy. Give me Rice. No, give me UConn. I don't know what I'm talking about here. Give me UConn -10.5. My brain's fried. Yeah, I don't know. Let's get into the picks. I'm just gonna go first because I feel my voice slowly dissipating. But we're gonna try and make it through here. Very, very special week out in college football. Let's get these picks through. There is a fire on the mountain in the Mountain West, and that is the New Mexico Lobos. Give me them -2.5 against Utah State. I love what I'm seeing from New Mexico this year. Jason Eck in his first season with the Lobos. Feel like that line is a little bit too small, but hey, I'm going to take it. Going to add a little bit of a touch of gray here, and that is going to be Vanderbilt. I'm going to take them -2.5. Matt, I know you were very out on Missouri. I am also very out on Missouri, especially in a road game. This does kind of feel like a trap spot for Vanderbilt, at home, college game day, all this fun stuff about Vanderbilt being a top 10 team. No, Vanderbilt gets it done here. We're going to take a trip down to the Magnolia State, and I'm going to take Mississippi State +7.5 against Texas. Texas had to go to 2 overtimes against Kentucky. Kentucky's quite awful. I think Mississippi State is better than them. I think they can at least keep it within the number. And then we're going to head out west, where the friend of the devil is a friend of mine, and that is going to be Arizona State, the Sun Devils, -7.5 against Houston. I mean, it's a home game. I don't know if Houston's that good this year. They're not what they were last year. And if you couldn't tell what I was alluding to up to this point, which I know most of you have not been throwing in a Grateful Dead song before each pick. My lock of the week, the Grateful Ducks. I couldn't go against it. That is absolutely 100% that's the only pick. I have it at 31.5. I don't really care. Give me 40, 50. I don't care. Give me the Ducks. Shout out the Grateful Dead. Jay DeCoster, I'll just go to you next here.
Yeah, I think our entire group, I think, as well. I mean, Matt said he had a few clunkers. I have as well the last couple weeks, so we'll get back on track here. We're gonna go Vandy. They are hosting College Game Day against Mizzou. I will take Vandy -2.5 there. They're a very good football team, and we've talked about Mizzou on the show that it might be a little on fraud watch. So I like Vandy in the spot -2.5. They're also going to be my lock. Love Vandy in the spot this week. Next, I got LSU at night in Death Valley against Texas A&M. Texas A&M's really good this year, but I feel like they're due for a loss here. You got LSU in a kind of I wouldn't say desperate, but they need this win if they're going to be competing for the college football playoff. So I like them at Death Valley at night. It's a very tough place to play, +2.5. Next, we got Minnesota, Iowa, the battle for the Floyd of Rosedale. I actually like Minnesota +8.5 to keep this kind of close here at Iowa. We're going a little off the rails here, but I mean, Minnesota's all right. They're not too bad this year, so I like them +8.5. Next, I got Texas -7 versus Mississippi State. Texas is kind of starting to get rolling here. They've been playing pretty solid football over the last couple weeks, so I like them -7 against Mississippi State. Next, I got Utah -13.5 at Rice Eccles at night. That's always not fun against a pretty awful Colorado team. So -13.5. I like them to cover 2 touchdowns. So those are my 5 picks with Vandy as the lock.
Matt, you're up next here as I am just looking. We went 1-3 in locks last week. What are we doing, guys?
It's not good. For this week, we're going to start off in the noon slate. I'm going to take the best team in the ACC. Give me Georgia Tech minus 17.5. They survived the Mike Merrifield rule last week, partially because Duke loves to do dumb shit. There's no other way to describe it. They're Duke, like the second drive of the game, they have it 1st and goal. They're in the red zone, and all of a sudden it's 7-0 Georgia Tech because they fumbled it, and the Yellow Jackets took it back the other way. So Duke, dead to me. Manny Diaz, future Spartan still, unfortunately. Not outside the realm of possibilities, I don't think. But give me Georgia Tech. Syracuse is dead, like deader than dead. I know Nick loves to hear me say that.
Thank you. Thank you.
They're not good. They're not a good football team. Noon kickoff.
They're not a good university.
Well, also true. They posted a picture of their basketball team just rolling out the basketball court in the middle of football season. That looked dumb as hell. Build an actual basketball arena. They just got blown out by Pitt. I don't think they're going to be able to go to Georgia Tech and keep it close. Give me Georgia Tech minus 17.5. Next up, there's, I think, 3 Mike Merrifield rules this week. This is one of them. Give me Washington minus 3.5 hosting Illinois. I don't think Illinois is that great. Going out to the West Coast, the East Coast, West Coast has been flippy-floppy, but in my opinion, we learned what Washington was. I had a bad feeling about it before last week going to Michigan, and it all but confirmed it. Their 2 losses to Michigan, Ohio State. Washington's a good team with good skill position players, but they're in the trenches. They just don't have it when they have to play a Michigan and Ohio State. They will play Oregon in a couple weeks, so I'm probably going to lean Oregon in that game when we come down to it, although it's a rivalry game. Illinois is not Michigan or Ohio State up front. So I think Washington at home, laying the 3.5, they get right. Big time win to keep maybe a CFP, they keep their hopes alive. Any shot. Obviously, they'd have to beat Oregon, but to keep any sort of possibility of staying in it down the stretch here, their schedule the rest of the way is really easy. They have Wisconsin, Purdue, UCLA. Like they got to win this game, and then they have
UCLA isn't easy.
Well, we're going to find out about UCLA this weekend, how real they are. I'm actually kind of scared for Indiana. I can't lie on Saturday. But anyways, Washington minus 3.5. Next up, I'm riding with Jay. We're walking right into a gopher trap, Jay. I really feel it. There's no reason for this line to be 8.5. The total is 38.5. I don't know. Like the math doesn't math there. Was it supposed to be a 27-19 final? I don't even think that math doesn't even add up.
They play for a pig, so this will be close.
23-14 is what they expect the final to be.
And they play for a pig.
That's gross. They played for a pig. Iowa dominates this rivalry. Actually, Minnesota won it for like the first time in a long. I think it was the first time PJ Fleck won the rivalry 2 years ago because Cooper DeJean waved off the punt return before taking it to the house. Give me, but that's too many points. Minnesota's playing well. Darius Taylor's healthy. That's the only reason they lost at Cal is because he didn't play. So give me the Gophers. They'll cover 8.5. I don't think they win, but 8.5 is too many points. Next up, Vandy minus 2.5. Enough said. It's Vandy. I know, Nick, I agree. You could be concerned about the game day, the top 10 ranking. I would be, except for the fact I think Diego Pavia lives for that shit. That's just the kind of psychopath he is. I give him a lot of credit. He's the most confident guy in college football. As much as I hate it, I kind of buying into it at this point. Give me the Commodores, and I also fuck Missouri, as I basically alluded to earlier. Give me Vandy minus 2.5. Oregon minus 31.5. Best uniforms of the year. Wisconsin is dead. They're deader than dead. Luke Fickell is it's time to move on. And then finally, my lock of the week, Big 12 After Dark. Give me the Utes minus 13.5. And it's my lock of the week. I'm going back to Utah. I learned my lesson last week. Utah against tough teams up front, like BYU and Texas Tech, they're dead. But Rice Eccles at night against bad teams. Utah, their closest win this year is by 25 at Wyoming. When they win games, they dominate teams this year because they're usually playing not very good teams. The 2 good teams they've played, they've lost. Give me Utah at home, big over Coach Prime on Saturday night. Lock of the week. Give me the Utes. That's my 6th pick of the week. Love it.
Jay Walsh, if you're still among us as you look frozen once again, it is. Let's roll with the parlay here.
Insert largest spread of the week. Give me. He'll probably take Indiana. I'm trying to think of what his other picks would probably be. Let me channel some Jay Walsh. Which pick did he nod for? Jay, was it
Jay Walsh.
Oh, he likes Washington. Yes. I'm trying to guess what your picks were. Go ahead.
Gotcha. Well, I already said one of them because we talked about the game earlier. I've got Oklahoma here, minus 5.5. That's my first pick. Like I said, I absolutely love that pick. I got it at minus 5.5. We have it on the sheet minus 4.5. Doesn't matter. I like Oklahoma either way. I considered making this game my lock of the week, but I decided against it. My second game. This one is interesting to me. This is a game that is going to tell you a lot about one of these teams. I got Northwestern plus 7.5 at Nebraska. Northwestern has been kind of very sneaky, playing well lately. Coming off that win against Penn State, they've rattled off a couple wins in a row here. They're at 5-2. If they win this game, they should. They probably won't be because it's Northwestern. If they win this game, there's a very realistic world where they should be ranked at 6-2 with a couple decent wins on the schedule. They possibly should be ranked if they win this game. I like Northwestern to at least show up in this game. I don't think Nebraska's that good. So 7.5, you're telling me they can lose by a touchdown and still cover. I like Northwestern in this spot. I'm going to save all of you here because this would have been our second pick that we would have gone consensus on, which would have been just the absolute death knell. I'm taking Missouri plus 2.5 against Vanderbilt. So you're welcome to all of you. Like I said, I liked Missouri at the beginning of the year to be kind of a sleeper team in the SEC. They've proven me right thus far already. I mean, they're one win away from getting over their season over-under total. I like them to cover here because I don't necessarily think, as you can see by the Jay Walsh rankings, I don't necessarily believe in Vanderbilt as much as some of the other members of this committee. Obviously, if Vanderbilt wins this game, they will definitely earn their spot. You'll see that in next week's ranking. But as of right now, I like Missouri plus the 2.5. As Mr. Merrifield said, I did nod when we made that Washington pick. I like Washington here minus the 4.5. Again, Mike Merrifield spot. Illinois has been solid, but not that great. Obviously, traveling across the country here is a tough one. Washington, as Matt said, they have very good skill position players. So this is a team that can put up points. They play solid football. I think they get the win here, and I think they cover the 4.5. My final pick, I'm going Tennessee minus 8.5 at Kentucky. Night game at Kentucky. However, as Nick Burt mentioned earlier when he was talking about one of the other games, Kentucky is not very good. They are not a good football team. Tennessee's coming off that tough loss against Alabama last week in the rivalry matchup. They've already got 2 losses on the season now. Their backs are against the corner if they're looking to stay alive for a CFP bid. So they need to start winning games, and they need to start winning games convincingly. I think they start this week by just demolishing a bad Kentucky team. So those are my 5 picks. Oklahoma minus 5.5, Northwestern plus 7.5, Missouri plus 2.5, Washington minus 4.5, and Tennessee minus 8.5. I'm kind of deciding between 2 here for my lock. Matt, what was your lock again?
Utah.
Oh, okay. I will go with Washington for my Washington minus 4.5.
That is, this feels like the week we finally turn the ship around and at least get to 3-1. If we can get to 3-1, I believe we can get to 4-0 in locks. We're getting there. We're going to turn this around this week. We're gonna figure it out. Does anybody have anything else to close out here?
Yes, I would just like to mention that I don't love the fact that last year we kept a running tally who was in first place when it came.
What he's about to say, he's upset because he's in first, but we don't tell anybody that he's in first.
I'm sorry, Jay Walsh. That is my bad. As he disappears again. I just completely forget every week to do that, and we're too late in the season now. I wish I could apologize to Jay Walsh, but I'm not. I'm gonna wrap. Well, okay.
For the public to know, he's in first place at 23-17. I just did the math based on last week's numbers.
Thank you, Matt. Very quickly, one word or potentially two-word answer as I try to get Jay Walsh back in here. World Series, Dodgers, Blue Jays, Jay DeCoster, pick one of the teams.
It's the Dodgers. Dodgers are just way too good. It's the Dodgers. They
Matt
spend too much
Merrifield.
money and best player in the world.
What time is first pitch on Friday? Is it 7?
7
No,
or
it's
8
8.
your time.
Is it 8? Well,
Yeah.
hopefully at halftime of the DeWitt Everett game, I can tune into the national anthem and I'll know my answer, Nick. If the people sing the anthem, I need a closed Rogers Center. And it can be open, but I need the people singing the national anthem. They got to. This is their one shining moment.
Matt,
Yeah.
Like I told you, I told you that certain people will be in the building. I will have my voice turned to 11 for that. I will bring the energy.
Good.
Jay Walsh.
Give me the Blue Jays anyways.
Okay. Jay Walsh.
It's the Dodgers. I'm sorry. They're the best team. They've gotten kind of to the point where the late 2010s Warriors teams were, where they kind of coast through the regular season still to a great record, and then once the playoffs start up, they turn it to 11 and just start beating the shit out of people. The Dodgers are the best team.
I would just like to point out, and I don't know if, Nick, you're going to bring this up, the last 2 teams to sweep the ALCS and then go to the World Series against a team that won 7 games was the Tigers twice. And it didn't
Thank
go
you for
very
pointing
well.
that out,
I'm
Matt.
just pointing it out. I would point it out even if you weren't a Tigers fan. Just saying.
I am
This
simply pointing out.
Dodgers team is significantly better than those Tigers teams were.
Jay Walsh made the metaphor or analogy, whatever you want, of the Dodgers being the late 2010 Golden State Warriors. How did that Warriors dynasty end? They lost to a team from Toronto.
With a torn Achilles.
Well, that too. Let's ignore that fact, but they lost to a team from Toronto. The Blue Jays are 2-0 at home when I attend games. So you can already lock in a game 1 victory right there. And then the Dodgers probably win 4 straight. That's all I got about there. So yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Merrifield Sportsbook Show. Oh, Jay Walsh, finish it.
Sorry, I was in the middle of saying something when I was cut out by my Wi-Fi before, unfortunately. Not super happy with the fact that last year we kept a running tally of who was in first place when we were making our picks, and now that somebody is in first place, we no longer are doing that, and we're no longer keeping track. So just wanted to point that out as a something that I noticed this year.
Jay Walsh, I offered my full apologies when you were not in the room. I'm sorry. It may be fixed by the end of the year. We'll see. So that is officially going to wrap it up for this episode of the Merrifield Sportsbook Show. For Jay, for Matt, for Jay Walsh, I am, of course, Nick. Thank you so much for watching. If you just stumbled across this, click like, click subscribe, tell anybody you know about it. We'll be back next week for another episode of the Merrifield Sportsbook Show.